Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3. That's right, we've made it to 3 of the Maladaptive Daydreaming podcast. I've forgotten the name of the podcast. That's not good. I'm not on my own today. I have friends with me this time. Woohoo! Would you two like to introduce yourselves? Because we forgot to do that in the first episode, by the way.
No.
So go right ahead and introduce yourselves.
Okay, and I'm 19 years old, and I struggle with maladaptive daydreaming. It has been tormenting me since my childhood, but it's got better these days. I think that I'm on my way of healing, but that's not a drama.
That's really good, actually, that you're on your way to healing. I can't say I am, to be honest. So good for you, seriously. Um,
Yeah.
Something happened when you said your name. It cut out on me. Will you do it? Say it again.
Ram. You can call me just Ram.
Rem. Okay. Well, it's
Ram.
nice to officially meet you. And
Where's
our
Claudia?
hmm.
Claudia, I think she's not here.
No, she's not here, unfortunately. She
Yeah.
did say that she might be free. So
Mhm.
she isn't. So that's okay. We can see her
Mhm.
next week's episode. I mean, who knows? People might join in anyway halfway through. So, and
Mhm.
now our other lady, will you introduce yourself?
Of course. Hi. My name is Ivy, and I'm 24 for now, but turning 25 this year. So I I am struggling also with maladaptive daydreaming, but I've been diagnosed with it and ADHD and OCD also. So that's why I'm taking this opportunity with this podcast to actually teach and learn too from other people that struggle with it.
It's no
So I'm
problem.
happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity again.
It's no problem at all. I thought it would be a good idea to do this anyway because at least we can teach people about it, but also we can connect with other people that have it too. You
Yeah.
guys are now my friends. Sorry, but you are.
Yay!
um, Also, I just remembered in the first episode you saying that you've been diagnosed with all this. You're taking all the alphabets.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I am call me Thanos. I've been collecting. I've been collecting the rings. Okay.
She's been collecting all the letters of the alphabet, guys.
All of them.
I wonder will there ever be a Z somewhere. So today's episode is all about the science behind maladaptive daydreaming. So if you don't like, scientific stuff, that's okay. You can leave. Listen to the last 2 episodes, which were a bit more personal, I guess. They were a bit more fun. At least I hope they were. And I think next week we'll be back to that kind of thing anyway. So yeah, sciencey stuff today. So first thing is how our brain engages in immersive daydreaming. So what I had looked up is your brain, everyone's brain naturally daydreams. It's something that everyone does every day. It's part of how we process the world, plan for our future, and imagine different scenarios. But the thing is, with maladaptive daydreamers, their daydreams are hyperactive and very, very addictive. Yeah, do you guys have anything to say about that? Would you agree?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Great. The scientists have an A plus right now.
I can't say that I have an A plus from science, any kind of But yeah, I agree.
um. So yeah, as I say, everyone out there daydreams. It's just it's the addictive side to it for us MDers. There we go. I'm gonna call us MDers
Can I add
instead.
something to it?
Yeah.
I think, well, take in also based on facts, why MD is considered not normal, not daydreaming normal,
Mm.
because normal daydreaming, you can snap out of it. It's not really
Mhm.
addictive, and it can be well considered like an hobby,
Mm.
an hobby like crocheting, listening to music. At one point, you can put the headphone down and then do something, important, or you can stop crocheting to
Mm.
do something else, to do some chores or run some errands, To you can put it down, you can put the hobby down for an hour, multiple hours to run eyes.
Mm.
But with maladaptive daydreaming, it can be so addictive that it creates a chemical imbalance
Mhm.
in the brain. And when that happens, you don't want to leave it. And you don't
You
want to
know,
see it. It becomes addictive and your brain, resolve around that.
Mm.
That's why it's like a different,
I have something to say too. Can I just add some words?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Uh-huh. I think that when I was little, my parents used to quarrel a lot. They had a lot of arguments, and uh, I used to be like a little child who tried to make both of her parents happy,
Mm.
but it didn't really work. So I was raised in that kind of family when you're suppressed, you're oppressed,
Mm.
you there's a lot of like noise, there's a lot of swear words
Mm.
because my parents quarrel a lot, and they still do actually. So I think that in order to not to hear it at all,
Mm.
I started uh, listening to a lot of music.
Mhm.
I get addicted because every time they quarreled, I just put on some music and I start daydreaming about something else, or just I try to distract myself from that intrusive, anxious thoughts. Because my parents used to like corner me with their questions: "Are you with me? Or are you with me?" Because my dad was like, "If you say you like your mom more, I'm going to abandon you and not call you my daughter ever again." The same happened with my mother. She was like, you know, children always stay with their mother, but why are you choosing your dad over me?
Mm.
And there was a lot of drama, guys. There was a lot of drama. So I think that I learned how to adapt. I learned how to distract myself, and I think that it ended up, I just there is a pattern.
Mm.
I learned a pattern.
Yeah, even if I don't listen to music, like I've said it before, music is a huge trigger. It's the main trigger. But if I have no music, my mind will still wander, and everything is just silent outside in reality. It's just everything is in my head. I can listen, hear, it's the same words I'm saying. I can hear, see everything in my head clearly than I can in real life. And yeah, like that's one of the other addictive things to it. What's in your head is
Your
perfect.
brain
Mm.
fixates on that.
Mm.
Like I listen to music.
Mhm.
Uh, there will be peace and you'll be okay. So it's learned pattern. If I listen to music, then I'll be okay.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it kind of changes your like brain chemicals, but I'm not an expert. No.
No, I mean, none of us are, neuroscientists or anything like that. We're just saying it from our own experiences. So we don't have
Yeah.
degrees or anything in this, but
Yeah.
we have our experiences. So I think that's what's important too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
Exactly, that's enough with us. The kind of more scientific thing um, as to how our brain engages when you notice your mind starting to wander. Now this is for everyone now, normal daydreamers and maladaptive daydreamers.
Yes.
Your mind wanders because of something called the default mode network, or DMN, which is a network in your brain that becomes active when you aren't focused on real life. So when you notice yourself zoning out, that's it kicking in. So for maladaptive daydreamers, this network is more active and more easily triggered, hence the vivid, story like imagination that takes over. So thank you, brain, overactive default mode network. Why you have to be the default, I don't know.
Because I can add to that, because the default mode is mainly in the frontal lobe area of the brain.
Mm.
So the frontal lobe manages problem solving, judgment, personality, emotional traits, language, and a motor. So the default mode is like giving your frontal lobe like kind of like a break, I can say. It's not scratching. Kind of like a break. But don't forget that I said like there's an imbalance, you know? So for us, the maladaptive daydreamers, that break become addictive. You know? Because as I said before, normal daydreamers, they can snap out of this break and then their frontal lobe start to work, on what is supposed to work.
Yeah.
Personality traits and languages, speech, whatever. But us, once we start into that break becomes so addictive because it gave us, this sense of euphoria and this sense of joy, that it becomes addictive. And don't forget, if you experience some kind of trauma, so you are under heavy stress and everything, so that break is like heavy for you. So that's why it becomes addictive, you know? It's like not only you can pretend, but it's like you pretend with extra step, you to the point that you can even feel. And that's why when some of us have those daydreams, that we will even cry, even there's nobody, nobody died or nothing happened to us, you will cry because a daydream that is not real.
Yeah,
It's sad, but it's not real, but you still feel that it's real because it's affecting your frontal lobe, and the frontal lobe affects emotions, personality, and all that. So you see, it creates like this imbalance. So that's why it's different from normal daydreaming.
Never mind, guys. I think I was wrong here. We do have a neurological scientist here.
Sorry.
You were going to say something there,
Okay. I was just going to tell you about this, about a thing that happened to me a lot. Usually I used to daydream about Attack on Titan really too much, because I really love this show. I really love this anime, and I used to imagine being multiple characters at the same time and like absorbing all of their emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today I'm Aaron. Tomorrow I'm Annie, Leonhardt, third day, I am Armin, maybe Armin. Maybe,
Oh my god, Attack on Titan!
yeah, maybe Mikasa, maybe Connie, maybe Sasha, maybe someone else. But every time I just wear a certain type of mask or that of a certain character, and then I try to like absorb it, all of their emotions.
Mm.
And you know what? I cried a lot. I really cried a lot.
No,
Because
like
I was
that.
like, I was like, I don't know, it touched my heart really,
Mm.
and this anime actually taught me at some point. I was not prepared to watching it when I was actually maybe 15 or 16. It was a lot, but I kind of processed it, and I started crying.
Mm. Like that's the thing, though, isn't it? The people inside your head, the characters, whether it's the other characters or if it's you, it feels more like real life. So therefore, when things happen to you or the other characters in your head, it it feels way more real, like you've actually lost someone. Um, it's so funny that you said that about Attack on Titan, because was it Attack on Titan or Teen Titans? Did you say? Um, that's
Attack on Titan, I think.
Attack on Titan. That was it. That is insane because I do that with nearly everything I watch. The current one right now for me is Devil May Cry. I love that game series so much.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I don't imagine myself as any of the other characters. I've created my own character. Um, yeah, so if they ever do a future game, like a new one, I have inserted myself in that and created my own story. Also, I'm in love with one of the characters from the fifth one. I mean, I love Dante. So I've been with him a few times. There's a new character in 5 called V. I've also been with him and Virgil. Anyway, I'm going off topic. Sorry.
That's okay.
But that was really
I wanted to add something. So, um, from both of your stories, when you said, going to associate yourself because you feel things, you feel the sadness, you feel the joy, and as I was saying before, from the frontal lobe, but the big surprise is maladaptive daydreaming is not only affecting the frontal lobe, it's affecting all of the brain parts. Are you interested in that?
Yeah, no, because
Yep. So, as I was saying, the frontal lobe, I'm going to make it quick because the brain is complex. So, we have the frontal lobe, the part, if you touch your forehead, the frontal lobe, this is what you're touching. Yeah. This is the frontal lobe. So the frontal lobe, manages, as I said before, problem solving, judgment, a personality, emotional traits, and everything. So, and motor planning too. And motor planning can be very tricky actually. But we'll go back to that. So with the default mode network DMN that Rebecca was saying, there's like it's hyperactive, so when your mind is wandering, it gets addictive, and then you grab it, and then you go. Your mind starts wandering, and everything starts to feel weird. Everything starts to feel vivid, like vivid fantasy. But it's only the frontal lobe. There's the parietal lobe. If you touch the middle of the top of your head, this is what you're touching, the parietal lobe. The parietal lobe manages sense of touch, taste, and smell. So when this area is affected, that's why when you have those daydreams, they feel so real. You can even touch, taste, and smell things, and your emotions too. It's like you are interacting with um the real world, but like in your head, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not real, but everything feels weird
I've
because parts of your brains are affected. Yes.
yeah, I've noticed the past week at least. I feel like my daydreams are getting more aggressive, progressive. I don't know what the right word is there, but I have noticed that I've started smelling things in my daydream, and I touched someone's hand in a daydream today, and I could actually feel it. It was a bit scary. Um, they're very much taking over now.
So
Do you daydream a lot? I mean, usually, because every time I have a dream, I always sense everything, every touch, every taste, every even pain, especially pain. I have a lot of daydreams related to dogs. I'm afraid of dogs. That's my huge phobia.
Oh.
I'm really getting bites, beats, something like that. And when I have dreams about dogs, they are biting me. It feels real. It feels very painful,
Ooh.
and there's no escape.
Mm.
And even though I didn't have any sexual experience, but sometimes in my dreams I kiss someone on the lips. I actually never kiss someone on anyone on the lips, but I sense it. I can sense that, and it feels so euphoric. It feels so good, and I feel like wow, I don't want it to stop, but actually it's live.
Oh yeah, no, I had some sexy time today with someone in my mind. It's great, it's fun. Especially when they seem to be a bit too real now. But I won't get into that. You guys listening, you can come to your own conclusions there.
We get the picture. We get the picture. So with the frontal lobe, I just say it was a default mode network, meaning there's a overactivation of it. But in the parietal lobe of the brain, there's something called executive control network. But this one is under activation. And the ECN, executive control network, it helps you with focus.
Huh.
Do you guys have focus?
I have no focus. That
Exact.
it may as well not be there.
Exact. So it helps with focus, attention, and self-regulation. Means like, as I was saying, when you know when to stop. Normal daydreamers, they know when to stop, and then go back to do something, and then come back. They know how to plan their days, their daily lives. But us, you know about that.
No.
I don't know about that.
Our focus is primarily on what's going on inside our stories.
Exactly. So daydream, right?
Exactly.
The next we have. I'm trying to read my notes right now. Sorry. Next we have the silence. How is it pronounced? Wait, let me look that up real quick. I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry about it. I feel like the longer we can go on with the podcast, it's great. You guys get to listen to us. Yay!
Yay! Oh, salience.
Salience.
Salience. The definition is the quality of being particularly noticeable or important. Prominence. So the work, doing a guy's work, what part of the brain it is? It is, how do you call that in English? I know it in French, but I'm trying to find the word. It's the part of the brain that connects it to the okay, there it is. The brain stem. Or you know how you call it?
Gosh, I speak
Scientists
English
are
and I
like
couldn't even think of the word.
the brain stem.
Mm.
The brain stem manages a sense of balance, reflex, breathing, digestion, swallowing, consciousness, temperature, alertness.
Mm.
The brain. So with the salience, I keep saying silence. Salience network, there's a dysfunction because this network usually helps you from knowing what's right or wrong. Um, how to keep yourself demure.
Mm.
So how to work. How to use your um ethics, your morals
Mm.
to not say things in public. Some things that you don't have to say or do in public, or how to keep things from personal to to
Mm.
separate things, um personal things from public things. So with that part of the brain being damaged, that's why some people, when they have like some mental illnesses, with this area of the brain affected, they're gonna be extremely confused, and they're gonna have some, they're gonna walk naked or on the street or whatever, because they don't know what's right or wrong. So this part of the brain decided what information is important to the public or to yourself.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's about you versus the environment.
Um,
But
it's like
we
impulsivity, isn't it? It's to stop you from being too impulsive.
exactly.
Mm.
But hello, Maladaptive daydreaming is on impulsivity. We're impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell something. I wasn't there on the episode 2, but I can share a fact, a personal fact that can relate to that actually.
Mm-hmm.
So with impulsivity, right? The minute my family, people that live with me, they go to work or they go outside, I don't care if I have a headache. I don't care if I'm sick. I don't care if I have to rest. The minute I'm alone
Mm.
in the house, I put music in my ear, and I don't even realize I'm already up,
Mm.
ready up and ready to pace around and daydream
Mm.
all day until they will come back.
Mm.
It's not like I decide, well, maybe I should daydream. It's like it's
It just
comes
happens.
naturally.
Yeah.
It's so impulsive. So
Yeah.
um and not only impulsivity, and you're gonna have difficulty to switch attention.
Mm.
So it's like you want to stay stuck in that daydream,
Mm.
in those dreams. Yeah, you want to stay stuck in them. And from severe cases, some people they won't eat, drink,
Mm.
you stay. It's like they're in a catatonic stage.
Mm.
Catatonia is like you are like paralyzed even.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot move, not even um talk or whatever. Then your mind is wandering.
But it's okay,
So
cause
it's
cause
from
in our
severe
in our
cases.
minds we're eating and drinking anyway, and you know.
And so there's so much to say because the brain is not a mystery, but uh, how can I say that? The brain, the brain is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there it is, fascinating.
Mm. It's really
So I
funny.
don't know if you guys want to add something because I'm not really done. I'm trying my best.
Well, it's just talking about all the different lobes we have in our brain. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I have temporal lobe epilepsy, and and with my seizures, I get like
Uh-huh.
a flash of an image or a memory or something, and I will go nauseous, I'll go dizzy. Um, uh, it's and like I don't black out or anything, but if anyone sees me and I'm in the middle of having one, it's kind of like I phase out or something. Um, and then I get this euphoric feeling afterwards, and then I forget the memory, then whatever I thought of. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't sure if maybe that is if there's some kind of crossover maybe with MD, because just for the memory thing and the just seeing an image or whatever, and like it I don't know, it feels real as well, but I mean I don't know, because like that's a part of my brain that's affected now, and I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what the temporal lobe does. Do you know, Ivy, our neurologist here?
So what I know about the temporal lobe, well, it's not tracking for you because you already know. The temporal lobe manages memory, hearing, learning, feelings,
Mm,
emotion, feelings, um, the way you understand, um, you know, like like school subjects,
mm,
how learning things, um, and I'm seeing right there more like a organization
mm,
and information retrieval. So information retrieval can work with with memory,
mm,
because you retrieving information, scanning them, and then processing your memory, you know. Um, so when you said you had like seizures, so that um part of your brain, as you said, you have this flash of memory,
mm.
and then you start. Is it like when you said seizure? How is it like? Are you on the floor shaking?
No,
Or
it's not a typical seizure. I'm conscious.
you still conscious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like I don't know. Maybe I can do a bit of research myself on it, because just
Mhm.
the MD affects your brain and epilepsy affects your brain, and the fact that it's not like a normal
Mhm.
seizure or normal epilepsy, although normal might not be the right word, but the
Mhm.
epilepsy that we're familiar with, I guess.
And
Also, my memory is shit.
so
uh,
when I hear you wanna hear a fun fact about the temple lobe, I'm glad you talk about it. The temple lobe actually
you're glad I have
because
temporal lobe epilepsy.
no,
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm glad we talk about the temple after the brain steam
Mm.
because I wanted to get into it too. Um, so I want to ask you guys, Ram, are you here? You so
Yeah,
quiet. You so quiet. So I want to ask both of you guys a question. So when you guys have your daydreaming, let's say you have characters in a daydream, can when can you engage any conversation with those characters?
Yes.
sometimes I experience something like that. I'm giving interview to someone, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not an exact person. Maybe it's someone certain, a certain type of person in the moment, but that's not the case. because I just imagine myself talking to a certain kind of audience. Like if I talk about my studies, I can like rant about that or something really important is for me, about my observation about people, about how I got to this point, about how I studied in my previous university, about how my school days went, and why I couldn't get along with my classmates back in school, and so on. You know, why I want to learn Italian or Czech, why I want to learn certain kinds of languages, but not German, not French, but maybe French. But this is something I just talk to myself, maybe. But I always expect someone to listen to me, listen to my whining, ranting over something. I just try to express my thoughts in my mind more clearly, like clearer. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I always audience. Always. I think that I visited psychologists for a long time, for a long period of time, and I don't know if you guys are aware of that psychological system when you're divided into types, accentuations by Leongard and Vichcombe. Do you know them? Like, you might be schizotypic or schizoid person. You might be histrionic, something like that.
Is it like neurodivergent? I think.
No, that's you know what? It's like MBTI, but not. That's more scientific version of MBTI, something like that. I'm just trying to like give you.
Okay. Is it like the four temperaments? Like
yeah, something like that, but there's a bit more.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see.
And you know what? My psychologist, she told me that I was epileptoid. Guys, mind me, but this is so Russian. It's a Russian method. It's called.
Okay.
So this is why some of it might sound a bit weird to you because maybe you're not aware of that.
Yeah, no, I don't think I am. This doesn't sound familiar.
Later on.
I actually kind of understand because yeah.
Of classification. Okay, there's like she told me I was epileptoid, I was histrionic, and I was hyperthymic. So I've got 3 types, psychotype, something like that. And histrionic, it means you need it's about someone who loves attention, who loves being the center of the attention, might be egocentric. The typical histrionic girls are the ones who dress up, are the ones who always fit, they always seek for attention, they seem very fit and slim. They're the ones who, typical Barbie girl, something like that.
Yeah.
Like celebrities, most of our celebrities are histrionic, It's almost like narcissistic, but histrionic types they're like they just need different kinds of attention. They don't care. Like they receive negative kind of or positive kind of, they just need attention, they just need audience. And narcissistic is about maintaining a certain ideal but histrionic, they just need attention.
I was gonna say that was similar to me, but then you said about being thin and Barbie-like, and I was like, okay, no, that's not me. Never mind.
No, it's no. I'm telling you this because this is typical histrionic girls, but it doesn't mean you're not histrionic if you're not Barbie girl, Because the main issue in this histrionic type of people, they love attention and they don't care in what, like how to receive it. It just depends on the person, how they want to receive it, Because people like, as for me, I'm also epileptoid. Epileptoid you know what? I'm going to a bit stereotypical in this, but I need you to grasp it.
Mm.
Okay?
Before, I have a question. So, were you diagnosed with HPD, histrionic personality disorder?
I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, JAD.
Oh, but so did she tell you that you had histrionic traits or anything like that?
No, just a classification. The psychologist is like it's been 2 or 1 year.
Or do you feel like you are easily influenced? Like people can change your opinion so easily, or you feel
I
like you can
I'm
stay behind your opinion?
I'm actually very prone to idolizing people and putting them on pedestal because I always have a vision of a certain person who would understand me, who would open up to me, would let me open up to them, and I like having a favorite person, like someone to listen to, and being like special in their eyes. But actually, just another kind of illusion. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. But it leads me to nowhere.
Well, I do hope she's going to work with you for the best. I do.
Because psychiatrist, she told me that I have GAD, and psychologist, she was like a profiler. I don't know if you know it's profiler. This type of people, they just like it's like MBTI, but it's more scientific, you know. How to say that?
Um, to return to to my main question, but I'm happy you shared that with us, so I'm learning a lot. But to return from my question, and you did answer it. You said yes. It's like it's like you can have like interview in your daydreams, and I think Rebecca said the same thing too. So my next question is, so when you guys like have like an interview or you talking, quotation talking to your characters, like do you guys hear the characters answer back to you in your daydream?
Yes.
Exactly. So that's why the temporal lobe comes to place. And you, Rebecca, you are my scientific experiment today.
I'm your
I'm
guinea
sorry.
pig.
So with you, because you can actually relate to that, to what I'm going to say. It's like the temporal lobe controls hearings. I said the hearings, memory, long memory or short memory, and um whatever. I'm forgetting. Learning. There we go. Learning and learning subjects or learning whatever things, and your feelings too, and information, retrieving information. So I want to start with the hearing because it's actually super interesting and kind of fun, but kind of sad too. So when the temporal lobe is affected, with maladaptive daydreaming, we do internal dialogue, but those internal dialogues with those auditory imagery. It's not like it's hallucination, because I repeat, we know it's not real. Difference between schizophrenia and whatever, they can't make the difference. But us, daydreamers, we know it's not real. But it's like our brain can literally form a voice for our characters, a voice for our in our brain, and then we will use this voice, wired by our brain, and then use it to give it to our characters so we can hear it. You see how crazy? Well, I don't want to say crazy, but how insane. Well, I don't want to say insane either, but how fascinating it is. So that's why this is where the memory is gonna come from. And Rebecca, you're gonna help me with this because I have questions for you.
Oh no.
So when you said when you have a seizures, a temporal lobe seizures, and the memory flashes. So I have a question for you. You said that you have a bad memory, right?
Yes.
You said you started maladaptive daydreaming since 2020.
Yes.
So 5 years. Can you remember anything from the real life that happened in those 5 years? Like, I'm not talking like, short memory, just like long memory, Can you remember? Like, from 2020, you remember what happened 2020, 2021. Even if you don't remember everything, of course not, but you can still see the timeline.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Well, in 2020, that's when I first noticed my seizures. And there was one moment as well where I fainted. And I have talked to my neurologist, and he said that, that it has to be some kind of traumatic. I don't know. My head would have to be hit in some way, and the fainting wouldn't have done it. He said that it's not enough. But like that's when I noticed everything start to happen. So like that's why I'm like, is there a connection between the two of them? Maybe.
So exactly, and we're going to be there. So now from 2020 to 2025, can you give me a timeline, a detailed timeline of your daydreams? Like, if your daydreams has like a storyline, or even if the storyline is disorganized, but you remember every character that you had, or even not, if it is not every, but like most of them. Can you remember like what type of daydream you used to have in 2020, 2021, 2022, and until now?
Yes. The way I see it is I visualize a file cabinet, and so I'll open it up and flick through the files, and it's like, okay, I want to daydream about this now. And some of the characters are in multiple stories. I'll put them into multiple stories. So they kind of connect in a way. It's like a multiverse, I guess. I'm in the Marvel multiverse, but it's the maladaptive daydreaming multiverse.
So glad you said that. Because did you realize something?
No.
You told me about the timeline of real life events that happened to you. You do remember, right? But when I ask about the daydreams, not only you do remember, but even if you don't really remember, but you still have them stored somewhere. You have like a storage somewhere. Meanwhile, non people that don't daydream, that storage is for a real life event. But us daydreamers, you see the trick? Us daydreamers, instead of having a storage of real life event, we have a storage for daydream. I also have a good memory. I can remember, real life event that happened to me.
Oh, lucky for some.
For daydreams, I still remember every character that I had. Even if it's not every, but like most of them, I still remember most of the storyline. I still remember everything from 8 to 10 to. I remember I had like a heavy Michael Jackson face. It was so insane. Anyways, why do you think that you stored those daydreams? Why is that? Why you have a cabinet of daydreams that you can open? Why you decided to store those daydreams?
I guess it's multiple reasons. I think it started out that I was bored, and so I would open up my cabinet and go, okay, I'm gonna experience this story today. But now,
So I ask you, why do you have a storage of daydreams, in your head? Why you decided to make a storage of those daydreams in your head? Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm feeling a certain way or I want to feel a certain way, I'll go in and find a story that will help me in some way with the emotions. If I need, because this like dark fantasies, which we'll talk about, as I say, in a future episode. If I choose them to go through if I want to be like, okay, if I can do this, I can do this thing in real life, then I never do. So I guess I just have it there so I can just choose a story, any story that I want, really, to experience. That's why I have it. And it just having it visually there, I don't know, it's nice for me. It helps me.
Now I want to hear it from Reb point of view now, because Rebecca said because she's bored, she wants to feel anything, she wants to feel a specific type of emotion. Now, Rem, the question is for you. Rem?
You can ask.
Yeah, I thought you disappeared. So the question is for you. My first question is, why did you start? I know it's basic, but I want to refresh my memory because I don't remember what you said in the first episode. I'm sorry. Why did you start daydreaming? Is it out of boredom like Rebecca, or is it something else? I'm sorry, Rebecca.
No,
is
that's
it something
okay.
else?
It might get a bit dark. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, just as you don't have to go into like much any
the
detail or
details, but
anything.
like, yeah, you can say it's because of trauma, of heavy trauma, or
You, uh, it, uh, it started a long time ago when I was a kid. The old kids, they were Russian speaking, and I was the only Kazakh, maybe no, the only Kazakh girl who couldn't speak Russian. Other kids would play with each other, and I just used to say so many random things, so many random words, and say it's a song, like book, tree, shorts, and so on. Like, I just list everything up, and oh, it sounds cool, but
yeah.
level, then it gets a bit deeper. I remember I used to play a lot of computer games because my dad, he presented me a computer, and that was so peak. Like, I used a lot of games. From the time I got bored, I have played all the games. I decided to look for something in the computer, something interesting, and I opened a certain file. And what is that? And I was confused. I was very confused. So I told my mom, I saw this, I saw that. She was like, who showed you? I told her, I just like stumbled upon it. She said, okay, don't worry, but never approach it ever again. But since then, I was very confused. I used to think about it a lot. It was something that bothered my mind.
Okay, from what I understand, it was because you wanted to adapt more into your environment. That's why you started daydreaming.
I wanted to adapt, yes, and also I saw something inappropriate, and I started daydreaming about it because I did, and this my mind was trying to like give me the ending.
Mm-hmm. It's actually quite interesting because the two of us studied MD with three reason, three different reasons. Because me, I noticed that I didn't talk about me enough. So me, I studied MD because of heavy trauma, heavy dysfunctional family, heavy trauma, like heavy stuff. So I studied on when I was 10 to escape that trauma, you know. So that's where the memory things comes from because I do remember real life events that affect me. But the thing is to escape from what those real events made me feel, I will turn off those real life feelings and then the daydream will give me the feeling of comfort that I was searching. I don't know if I make sense, but those daydream made me feel not only happy, but I felt secure. It was I was searching in those daydream. I was searching stability that I wanted in real life. So it's deeper for me. I'm not saying that it's not deeper for everybody, but why I say it's deeper for me because I wish it was out of boredom, right, Rebecca?
Well, I wish I didn't start it really, but yeah, no, that I get that.
But yeah, so that's why I want to finish with the brain part before we go into the personal stuff. So that's why the temple lobe with the memory we will have like those vivid memory with the and the vivid memory of those daydreams because for us they feel real, so we're gonna store those memories, we're gonna store those characters, we're gonna store those feelings. And about feeling, that's where the last part and thank you for being patient. The last part of the brain, the cerebellum, um, comes into play because the cerebellum it's all about coordination, balance, and feelings too. It's what make those daydream feel so real because it has like the system called the limbic system where there's like emotional amplification. So those emotions, those feelings are over engaged, and those daydreams make us feel things. And if we can go to the occipital lobe too with visual perception, visual interpretation. So you already have an idea. The occipital lobe, the back of your head, is the part of the brain that manages visual perception and visual interpretation. So with MD, we can literally see in quotation or quote unquote see those characters, see this visual not visual but like see this imaginary world. We can see it, but at the same time, we know it's not real. So that sums up. That sums up the brain. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to yap like that.
Thank you for coming to Ivy's TED Talk. I was.
Thank you, Ren, to share your story for us, and thank you, Rebecca, too. And well, let's go. Any questions or
well.
Oh, did we cover everything?
No.
Oh, sadly, I'm sorry. I thought.
No, it's okay. I was really worried though that I wouldn't have enough to talk about on the brain, but thank you, Ivy. My God.
Sure.
What I will say though, which is, you mentioned excuse me, you mentioned something about an inner dialogue. Um,
Mhm.
the another thing that people have, like everybody has this, is well, an internal monologue. It's what
Mhm.
most people have, but there are some people
Yeah.
out there who not only don't have an internal monologue, but they have aphantasia. It's either one or the other, or there's some who have both, um,
Mhm.
which is insane to me. But then again, these people who don't have an internal monologue or have aphantasia are like, what do you mean you have an internal monologue? You're the one who's crazy. Um, so I would love if there's anyone out there listening who has no internal monologue, aphantasia, or both, please get in contact. Because I would love to talk to you on one of a future episode. I just find it so fascinating that people go through this. You know, like what do they do if they can't daydream? Because it's even though it's maladaptive for us, it's still it's
Mhm.
comforting. It's nice. I mean, it's not nice all the time, but it like there's a positive aspect to it, a comforting aspect to it. The chemicals you were on about that the brain releases, it's dopamine, that the feel good chemicals. So that's what makes daydreaming for us so addictive. So you know what good chemicals, what dopamine comes out for people who don't have an internal monologue or have aphantasia or both.
So
Like,
I can actually answer to that. Actually, I don't know if I fit the category,
okay.
but you might have the person that have both in front of you right now. So, um, my inner monologue, yeah, my internal monologue is mostly activated when I do daydream, right? When I'm being impulsive, like something triggers it. If I'm alone or if I'm listening to music.
Mm.
But most of the time, actually, I would think, I don't know how to say that, but like my mind is quiet. Like I will not have any inner monologue, but I will like think, but like it's like I don't know how to say. It's not like in details, you
Mm.
know. I will have like I will look at the big picture. I will have like a general idea of what the situation is, and and think, quote unquote,
Mm.
with like how how other people are engaging with the situation, or how me I have to engage with that situation, and I will have like a rough idea of what it is,
Mm.
and then I will think on based on feelings, based on um past or present feelings.
Mm.
So I won't hear, like I won't have this. I never know that can be like, oh hey, what should I do or whatever, For example, if um if I'm playing football or basketball in my mom's living room, and then I break something and I shouldn't do that. Most people, they will, their mind will be racing, be like, oh, thinking to themselves, the inner monologue,
Mm.
telling them, what should I do? Should I, what lie do I have to do? Me, I will do it based on feelings.
Mm.
My mind will be quiet, but I will be like, how am I feeling on, and how my mom will be feeling? Is he going to, I don't know, be mad or whatever? But obviously she's going to be mad.
Mm.
So I'm like, well, I don't care, and then just clean it up and then wait, and then I do dissociate a lot too.
Mm.
Maybe that may be the reason too. I do dissociate a lot, where my mind will be and then I'm just like a robot,
Mm.
doing things, and then it's like my body is moving and my mind is blank, like blank. So I don't know if I fit the category or not, but I do have a internal monologue when I did.
That's
I do have it.
damn. That's okay. I've never heard that before. That's fascinating. But I'm talking about people who did they don't have any internal monologue, even if they daydream. You know, I mean, if they do daydream, that's the thing.
Maybe they do it like me. Maybe they base it on feelings.
Maybe.
Maybe they know their feelings without hearing any thoughts. I don't know. That may be complex to say, but like I said before, with the example I said, if any person broke any glass, they'll be like, "Oh, what should I do? What lies should I lie? What? How can I?" Their mind will be racing. But me, I already know my mom's gonna be mad. But I still take the possibility that she might not be, but I already put like 90% of it that she's gonna be mad. I just clean it up and then go. And when big things happen to me in real life, I can't think like, trying to hear any thoughts or whatever. It is what it is. But when I do daydream, when it's activated and then I piss around and everything, I will have this monologue. I will hear my characters' voices, everything. But once I'm back in the real world, I'm like, okay.
It's just nothing. It's quiet.
Yeah. And
wow.
Sometimes it's terrifying too.
Wow. Oh, wow.
But maybe I don't fit, but because I like you, I do want to talk to somebody that's both, or to see if I fit, or it's just, not. Maybe I fit or not, because I never found somebody that doesn't have an inner monologue.
So yeah, if there's anyone out there who has one or the other, or has both, which is fascinating to me as well, because, when you daydream, there's the internal monologue and you see things. So for a person who has aphantasia and also has no inner monologue, how would they daydream if they do at all? So please get in touch if there is anyone out there listening who has that. I'll leave the Instagram account down below in the description so you can private message, or I'll leave the email for our Mad Life podcast in the description down below so you can email us instead. Do you
Brem, do you want to add something?
Yes, but you can ask questions. I don't know.
You do have an inner monologue, right? Internal monologue too, right?
Oh yeah, I have lots of inner monologues. Sometimes, a few years ago, I was obsessed with astrology. I was obsessed with guessing people's natal chart placements. So,
wait, I'm still obsessed. Actually, I think that Rebecca is an air sign.
Nope.
And what do you think about me? What my zodiac sign is?
Bram, you. I don't want to say directly what zodiac sign, but maybe you are water, and Rebecca, you may be earth or air.
Nope.
Because
you were.
Wait, really? Rebecca, you're not air or earth?
No.
Maybe your moon sign is. Maybe your moon sign is actually.
I'm a fire sign.
Oh, you fire sign. Okay, let me guess. If you're a fire sign, you definitely, because I click with you. So you're definitely a Leo or Sagittarius. You cannot be an Aries.
All right, guess which one am I?
Okay, maybe Sagittarius.
Bang, right on.
Yeah, you know why? Because I have my moon in Sagittarius.
There
you go. So I
what do you think about me? Can you guess?
Okay, so I guess you're a water sun maybe. You're a water sun
I was gonna say Earth.
or no, maybe air actually. Because
No
you
air,
know
and no water. Actually,
what?
I live. Yes, yes.
Not even your moon sign is not
My moon sign is in Leo.
your moon sign is in Leo?
No, Leo.
Oh, your moon sign is Leo. What about your sun? What is it? Oh wait. The
Sagittarius.
sun.
Yes.
Oh, you told me. What is it?
Sun is Sagittarius. I only have ascendant in Libra.
Wait, you both are Sagittarius? That's insane. What do you think I am?
I think you might be a your sign, like you know.
I was gonna say you're a fire sign because you're so extroverted.
No, I think you have some air with fire, cause dudes, I might sound ignorant, okay, but
You
please,
never
how to
gonna
take
guess.
zodiac blind
You never gonna guess. And yes, Rebecca,
Gemini.
I may be extroverted, but I'm
I think
actually
you're a
very
Scorpio,
introverted actually.
or you might be Scorpio or Gemini.
Wait a minute, Reb. I just want to tell Rebecca something. Rebecca, I might be extroverted. I look extroverted, but I'm actually very introverted. I am extroverted when people talk about subjects that I like.
No, okay. That's fair. Mm.
I could have taken the Scorpio actually. Yeah, I'm a water sign. Surprise!
Ah.
You're Scorpio, right?
No, I'm not a Scorpio. What do you think I am?
Pisces.
Cancer. I'm a Cancer.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I got that wrong.
Yeah. But my moon is in Sagittarius. So
Yes.
that's why I click with you both. Because your sun sign is my moon sign. That's
Damn
actually
right.
very pretty actually.
Sagittarius for the
Yeah,
win.
no, I was really obsessed with astrology.
Yeah.
Was in school, and I used to guess people's natal placements, chart placements, and I used to have a lot of inner monologues like this in people's charts, and I used to like I used to interview myself, getting interviewed by myself, like writing about my observations about people, writing about certain types of observations, and so on. So yes, I can't live without inner monologues.
We can talk about astrology after. Hang on now, guys.
No, that's all right. No, I'm done.
Okay. If any of you guys listening are into astrology or even know your astrology sign, please leave it in the comments down below. I find it very interesting, actually. We can try and figure out your personality from your star sign. But anyway, that's it now for today's episode. We've talked about so much now that we're like almost an hour 20 for episode 3, which is the longest episode so far. So next week we will be discussing in more detail about why people develop maladaptive daydreaming. So we've mentioned trauma and overlaps with I was about to say ACD, no, ADHD, OCD. There's a few other things as well. So we'll go into more detail next week about why people develop it, and there's personal or the environment maybe that might develop maladaptive daydreaming. So yeah, we'll find out next week. And again, please let us know in the comments down below about if you have aphantasia or neuroinner monologue or both. I would love to speak to you. I just find it so fascinating. Do you guys have anything to finish on?
Well, nothing actually. I'm just excited for the next episode, and I hope I won't talk that much. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Honestly, that was amazing how you knew that much about the brain. My goodness, are you not a neurologist or anything?
I do actually have some basics, but I'll admit that I did actually do some research.
Mm,
Some more research because or how maladaptive daydreaming affect the brain.
mm. That's
But
great.
so that's why I'm saying this podcast giving me the opportunity to learn about my
Mm,
own problems, and teach other people that struggle with it too.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought I didn't have enough to talk about today. Bloody hell, Ivy.
Sorry.
What about you, Rem? Do you have anything to finish on?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to. I'm waiting next episode wholeheartedly.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay then. Well, we'll finish up. Um, thank you everyone for listening today, and we shall see you again next week. Bye!